Welcome, Sagittarius, to your Sagittarius December 2021 reading and predictions. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, for those who are stopping by for the first time, and I hope you're doing well, and welcome. And for the subscribers, well, you know you always have my love and my affection and good energy sent to you at all times. I love it when I see you here each month. Really warms my heart. Now, by the way, there is a 2022 calendar year reading, and you can see that on the playlist on my channel. Well, December is an important month spiritually for a number of people. I think from the 28th of November through to the 6th of December, it's Hanukkah for the Jewish members of the audience. On the 8th of December, I'm pretty sure it's was it Bodhi, the feast where in Buddhist tradition the Buddha became enlightened. On the 12th of December, of course, for the Latina and Latino members of the audience, it is the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and that is a time which is buried in the hearts of the members of that community and the broader Christian community, I'd say. Now, from the period of, well, really from going from the 21st of December through to the 1st of January, there is, for the pagan and Wicca members, Yuletide, and smack in the middle of that is December 25th, which traditionally has been seen as being the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, all the South Africans and Aussies are out on their surfboards. But that's the time, of course, when the daylight started to return. It had been going shorter and shorter and shorter, and then it evened out and it started to become stronger again. So much so that the official religion of ancient Rome for centuries was around Sol Invictus. Sol being Latin for sun, Invictus, unconquerable, and it was the unconquerable sun whose feast day was December 25th. And that probably in no small part accounts for the celebration, traditionally, of the birth of Jesus Christ and Christmas Day on December the 25th. So good luck to everybody for whatever your background happens to be for. But now we're going to take 5 cards and see what's in store for you for this month. There's the 4 of discs. There's the Ace of Wands. Lovely. I think you're going to really... Oh, there's the King of Swords. I think you're going to find this artwork quite important. There's the Page of Cups. Man, I love this stuff. I love this deck. Oh, and there's the 5 of Swords. Fantastic. Well, why don't you come now, sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at the artwork on these cards together while I do the reading for you. There, I think you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have a look at this Ace of Wands first and see what it has to say for you. Now, let's have a look at the image here, and what can we tell? Well, the Ace of Wands is bestowed with the hawk wings of the sun and the courageous heart of the lion, cherub of the constellation Leo of the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, also with fire, and it represents the soul. It represents also the untamed energy and heat of the sun. At first it is very wild, hot, powerful, and kinetic, but it also possesses great heart, strength, and courage, and the ability to provide and to illuminate. Now, this energy wants to be a hero and a leader. Fire is the primordial yang energy, active, aggressive, outward, masculine. Your task is to harness, direct, and control this great energy and focus it into something good. Spiritually, this card is the seed of your strength. You may not know the full magnitude of what divine strength you have until the very end, when you have moved it and channeled it through a more oppressive and all-surrounding earth and claimed it as your own, discovering and building it into something amazing in your life, the full potential of your will, of yourself. Now, of importance to you during this period, I think, will be people who are Virgo, Cancer, and Leo. This is the Lord of the root of power of fire. There is strong, high energy here. Transformation with you, the creative spark, a new project perhaps, a new start is underway. May well be quite a passionate union, you know. Certainly your life forces will be moving and surging. Now, if all obstacles are out of the way, renewal in all areas and levels of life are going to take place. The revitalizing power fills your entire being with new light. Now it is important for the free-flowing energies to have a creative outlet. You can use this energy only if you have a goal towards which you can direct it. The next step after releasing the blocks is to find the right framework in which to set this energy to work. I really do have the feeling here that this is representing a time in your life when you have a breakthrough moment of insight and feel inspired and motivated to move your life forward. I think there is a big opportunity going to be opening up for you. What attracts you to doing it the most? What gives you the most pleasure? In what framework could you realize your dreams? Say this to yourself at this time because it assists with the process you're undertaking. I express my energy and my power openly. Well, let's have a look at this card, which is on the same horizontal as it, which is the Four of Discs. Now, what does this image evoke within you, do you think? Let me have a look at it. Well, what a beautiful scene here. All things in one. This is the Four. The Four of Discs is the earth in earth. Stability, power, perfection, strength. Perfect harmony between all the elements. Moving, creating together, lying, existing together as one. Recording, building, growing, evolving, becoming. This is the physical universe, the throne of God. And you too are within, all in one, in perfect harmony with all else. This landscape is reality, the environment of life. Now, from an astrological perspective, I think that what we have here is the Sun in the third decan of Capricorn, the 13th to the 21st of January. Well, Capricorn is a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sign, and those with Sun in Capricorn have a realistic, grounded approach to life that can be seen no matter how dreary or difficult the rest of their birth chart happens to be. Haven't you found that with Capricornians? I think what this is talking to you is that this is a time of stability. Now, you may well have a tight rein on your budget at the moment and be quite financially cautious, which is probably a first for you. And you may even be saving for the future, which might also be a first for you, because you'll be having this feeling of protecting yourself. There's a great degree of manifestation here, integrity and character. What I do see, though, is the Sun energizing the Capricorn earth, and material benefits and power are the result for you. Now, the Sun in astrology is the symbol of your dynamism or power, and Capricorn is the application of that power in a useful way. And this is what you will be doing. Do you know, even though this is a pastoral-looking scene, there is a sense for me that this is a very materialistic card. I think that you may well find the need to work out what fences you want to build around things. I think that you'll be looking for a sanctuary where you can find your inner voice. Or you may be looking for material things that you can show off to other people. Now, you may be tested not to give away your personal power, and so you need to use your discretion as to where and to whom you say no. Sometimes you need to close the gate and stay within your inner sanctuary so you don't give too much of yourself away. Very often this card and this energy can be something that indicates a need to become more established in one's character and integrity. That is, to sort of take stock of your life, and I think that this is something that you'll do during this month, which is your month here. Well, at least November for the first decan, and then for the second and third decans, your month of December. Or it could be a challenge to submit your own rules and principles to life and the impulses of the heart. Is your life, your behavior like a rigid fort? Or does your life, your behavior, need more order, structure, and solidity? Study the different aspects of power. There are some good books around on that subject, but study power and how it is used. And say this to yourself at this time: I offer my power in the service of love. Well, where shall we go to next? Okay, let's have a look at this and deal with it, shall we? Now, this is an unusual card for you to have drawn, certainly in the context of all the others that are here. But this is the Five of Swords. Now, what can we say here? Well, the word, the logos that created the world, did not create a world of gibberish, but it created a world of poetry, threads of connectedness and beauty that can be seen in the subtle synchronicities of life. Now, the woman here, I think, is the Greek goddess Athena, that of knowledge. And her owl, well, that she deals with strategy, discipline, and civilized action to resolve conflicts. Now, all the fives, I have to say, because numerologically the number 5 has for me an association mystically with the planet of Mars, which can be disruptive, there are, with all of the fives, an element of challenge, and in some respects, some sort of feeling of suffering, because they're kind of the furthest away from both the ace and the 10. They're right in the middle. They're locked in the center, and you might sometimes feel that you're also locked in the pit of your own body, in which you have to go to retrieve the core of yourself so that you can turn and move back to the source. How you move back towards that source, how you deal with that challenge and maybe any suffering which is around with this card, is through intelligence and strategy, reason, civilized discipline, and in your case I would also say through philosophy. You also have a muse and a protectress in the patron of these things, being Athena, or the owl with her. She is protecting you. She's almost like here the feminine face of God. Do you know the ancients were not stupid when they had their pantheon of gods? They understood that these things were representations metaphorically in a way that humans could understand of the action of the divine in the world of affairs of humanity. And so you have a protectress here. And you can stand back, I think, at this time and look at a situation with measure and balance. Athena was also known for her very shining eyes, as is the owl, and for vision. Correct, realistic, acute vision is needed by you at this time. Now, astrologically, what I have here, as I assess it with the card here beneath this ace, is that of Venus ruling the first decan of Aquarius. Now, it's the 22nd of January to the 29th of January. Now, Venus also rules Taurus, which is an earth sign. But I have Venus here in an air sign because of the presence of all of these owls, and that is in the sign of Libra. Right, as where I have her placed before she comes into Aquarius. So These two are kind of at odds with one another, Venus and Aquarius, because Aquarius is a rebel and a fighter, whereas Venus is a lover and not a fighter. So the individualistic and dispassionate nature of Aquarius clashes with Venus, the planet of relationship. Venus is also overwhelmed by the fiery and dispassionate nature of Mars that I see in the numerology here. Do you know, sometimes I think there can be a fear of defeat with you, and maybe there's a fear of defeat is present at the moment. It may be connected with relationships, or more generally, with the beginning of something which is of great importance to you. Maybe it is the fear of losing control, of experiencing the feeling that everything is maybe slipping out of your hands. There's almost a feeling also of you not standing up for yourself where you need to do so. But Aquarius is directed also towards the future. The challenge is to make room for your own objectivity and clarity despite any fear of defeat that you have. Yeah, the essential element that I have here is fear, and that can distort your view of the present and of the unknown in your future. And the Five of Swords can also relate to a betrayal or a sneak attack by someone that you trust and don't suspect as being your enemy. It could be a jealous person behind you who is sabotaging you from behind your back. Your fear could be the result of losing control emotionally due to previous hurts from relationships, or it may be connected with the workplace where you've had experiences that stop you expressing yourself fully because your confidence has been shot. Now, what you must do is let go of any feelings of fear, and then the energy that's bound up with all of these birds will be released and you'll fly and soar. Swords is mental, but because of the presence of Venus here, and it may well be that there's a mental turmoil that you're going through, but it can relate to the emotions because of the presence of Venus. Yeah. I think that this shows that you are, because this card has come up for you in this context, I think it shows that you are now ready to see your fear of defeat. Fear is irrational in nature, meaning that it does not necessarily reflect the real situation. By recognizing this, you will set free all of those energies which have been bound up in your fear. If you are afraid to see control slipping out of your hands, remember, the feeling that you are in control is just an illusion. Nobody is in control. Seeing, understanding, accepting, and letting go of your fear will set you free. What do you associate with the idea of defeat? Say to yourself, I accept my fear. I name it, and then I let it go. I am not my fears. It is safe for me to live without guarding and defending myself all the time. When I feel afraid, I open my heart and let love dissolve the fear. Yes, remember with that, you cannot direct the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Now, let us have a look at this page here. This looks interesting, doesn't it? I assume it's a woman. It looks like a woman to me. Let's have a go at trying to make something of this here. Well, do you know, and look, by the way, this has got Sagittarius all over it. And it's also got Libra and Scorpio around as well, so they're going to be important to you, I would suggest. Do you know that your emotions and thoughts are like little ships set adrift on the ocean, affecting the whole of the ocean? They come from you. Change your ships and change the way the ocean reacts and others react. Change the energy. Now, this page's strength is unconditional love, both for yourself and for other people, and non-judgment. Assuming strength in yourself, others and situations. Project into the world calm thoughts that support rather than hinder what you want from life. Take responsibility for yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your life. Do you know this? Because it is true. You were designed for this life in every way. I see emotional freedom here. I see the conquering of jealousy, and I see, importantly, a trust in yourself. She is free and not imprisoned by emotions, and she shows the independence and freedom she has gained. She has cast off the bonds of possessiveness and manipulation. Freed from jealousy, she is surrounded by grace, kindness, and clarity. I think what we see here for you then is a time when, and I'll call it a young woman for the obvious reason, but this is a young woman who is very gracious, voluptuous, sweet, gentle, kind, romantic in particular, and very dreamy. So there could be a tendency at times for you to become a dreamer and not necessarily engage in life. I think she lives in a world of romance. But this is saying to you that you must now trust your feelings and perceptions because you are on the right path. Is there anything else preventing you from being fully free? You now have the opportunity to let go of it as well. Imagine you are surrounded by water and are dancing the dance of salvation and freedom with light flowing movements. And say to yourself, the more I love myself, the more I can share with others. You understand, you need to love yourself first before you can properly give love to somebody else and before you can receive love from someone else. And that takes us then, I think, finally to this card in the center here, which is the King of Swords, I think, isn't it? Yep, the King of Swords. And let's have a look at it. Well, here is a man who is hardened from battle and from each pinprick of this tattoo of the dragon which is upon him. His headdress here are the quills of the pen, and that is how he goes and conquers the world. Fit, wiry, muscular, strong. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be muscular, but I do say this, that you will have a good sense of physical appointment to you during this time. They'll have good health for you during this time. You could even be someone who can advise other people on how they should be able to heal themselves or what sort of diet they could do here. I think actually this is a time when you may find that you are quite good at financial investments. This is talking also of work and toil. You will be very goal-oriented, ambitious, and you'll have very flexible intellectual powers, a great degree of passion with you. Do you know you could even be? Look, I do see time to time, and I don't make any moral judgment on this, but I do see periods of anger coming up with you here as well. Now, this is a man who is active, clever, skillful, fierce, and courageous, but can often be unreflective about things. And if he's not soaring intellectually, he can get lost in the dark clouds of the mind. I think he is delicate, courageous, but can become altogether consumed by his current idea, which comes to him by way of inspiration and without reflection or considered thought. He has remarkable powers of concentration, though. Thoughts and ideas come to him with lightning speed. He is a master of imaginative and flexible thinking, which he uses to achieve his goals. His strong intellectual determination, I think, is unified with a deep emotional perceptiveness. Only goals which are emotionally charged can kindle such passion. Body, intellect, and spirit are in harmony, and they serve you well during this time. I suspect that you'll get clear insight into a problem and you'll be working quickly to set goals without letting anything stand in the way. This is nevertheless, I think, a restless period where you are transitioning and trying to get somewhere else, either in your everyday life or maybe even travel. It's definitely a time for you to listen to your head rather than the heart. I get the feeling he is actually someone who's more comfortable in his head rather than in expressing feelings himself. But this indicates here, I think, a restlessness in all aspects of life. Maybe you want to break free from the workplace. You're in a good position now to forge plans, to set goals and bring them to fruition. But do you know your goal? Do you know how to achieve it? Do you have a step-by-step plan, with each step being specific, measurable, and attainable? Be focused on one thing, and then imagine how you'll best be able to enjoy your success. And say to yourself, I know my goal, and I know what I am working towards. Each goal is just a milestone on the way to my ultimate destination. Well, that's the way it is for you this month. Well, I thought that was really, really interesting. It looks like it's going to be a great month for you, and don't you deserve it? You really do, particularly coming up for this time of the year. It's busy for everybody, wherever you happen to be, and it's a wonderful time of year, and it's a wonderful time for you. Now also, don't forget, I have done a 2022 yearly calendar reading where I use some beautiful Renaissance art cards, 12 cards, one for each month of the year, which I think that you'll find delightful, and it's in particular, it points out what a good year it's going to be for you. But until then, have a look at that. But until then, I look forward to seeing you again next month. And remember though, always, and one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.